Hi, I'm Matt Young, and today I'm going to show you how to install the Shademaker Supreme with the XL edition. In front of me here I have the front bar, rafter, and leg assembly. This is the center tension spring-loaded rafter piece, and this is the bag that also has your awning fabric attached to it. Parts included are the beam end caps, socket receivers, center brace angles, the XL bottom brackets and pins. Then you have the supplied nuts with the bolts for the center brackets, the screws for fastening in the track, the star washers, and other assorted bolts. So what I have here is the two pieces that make up for a longer unit. I have an 11-foot unit, and in order to join the two units, we'll be using these two brackets. Next we'll be installing the center brackets. The center brackets slide in on each side like this, and once they're bolted up, they'll also have bolts that go between the two flanges here that'll sandwich in the middle here. So we'll go ahead and start bolting that up. So the round end goes on the outside here, so you have something smooth against your fabric. Now a key is to keep this just finger tight for now, and that way all the pieces can move to get the proper alignment. And we're using the 8 shorter bolts here, and those go through the outside with the star washer on the inside, backed by your nut. Now you'll need a 7/16 open end wrench to tighten these when we're ready to tighten this. Here we'll go ahead and assemble the rest of the bolts joining the center angle iron. Probably better to put the longer screws in from this side so you can get your screwdriver on it. This has a flange back here that won't let you get your screwdriver on, but it will let you get your box end wrench on there. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten these up. After you've tightened all the bolts, you'll be inserting the awning fabric. You don't want to over tighten it and strip them out, but snug is good. Next you'll want to lay out the fabric so that the leading bead is lined up with the end of your front bar. Now when you're aligning the front bar with your fabric, make sure that the two seams of the fabric are paired together. As you go to insert the fabric, you want to make sure that the decorative flap folds forward over the slot that the bead goes into. Now take note the orientation of the front bar, you're going to want to have that facing up. When the unit is deployed, you're going to have this side facing the sky and the legs facing the ground. Now make sure that both pieces of the fabric are laying together. If you've got to pull them apart, that's not what you want to do. Now you're going to roll the fabric so that it slides into the slot of the front bar. Now take note that the front bar has been smoothed from the factory so that you don't snag your fabric. Still, there should be some care taken. Now that you've inserted the fabric into the front bar, make sure that the fabric is centered from end to end where the bead comes into the front bar. Now, mine is an 11-foot front bar, and you'll have some of the black bead material sticking out. You'll want to roll the front bar so that you can access the aluminum face of the slot that you slid the fabric into. Next, you'll take your self-tapping screw and drive it through the aluminum outer face, through the bead that is sewn into your awning fabric. Make sure you don't over-tighten the screw. Next, we're at the other end, and I pulled it tight. There wasn't much slack to pull out, and we're still right there at the end. Again, you're going to just center it on the bead. Next, we'll be rolling up the front bar into the awning fabric in preparation to install it on the trailer. Now that we've got the fabric rolled up and zipped up, we're going to install it on the rail. Now, you may want a second person for this. I have a fancy little stand that's going to be my second hands, and let's go ahead and get started. So, just like when you attach the fabric to the frame, this has a bead sewn into it, and it's going to slide directly in here. Just like that. And you just want to pick up on the other end. To take your drill point screw and attach just like we did the awning on the other end. So 1 inch in from the end. We're going to go ahead and be careful not to over tighten it. Now we'll go to the other end. And 1 inch from the end, we'll go right in from the top. Now it's secure. Next, we'll be installing the sockets. Now keep in mind there's a large groove and the small groove. The large groove faces down. In the instructions, it's very clear that you're mounting this directly below the frame of the awning, not the bag, the frame of the awning. So if you feel in here, that's the frame of the awning. That's the aluminum pieces we're assembling. Now, what this is a socket for the end rafter poles that's going to pop in here. If you have it too far out, your rafter tie, if your awning fabric's going to be over here, your rafter pole is going to be sticking out. That's why directly underneath. So if you imagine a 1 inch square coming off of this, it's going to line up with your awning. And you can feel your awning, the framework is right here. So you're going to want it inside a little bit. This time we're using the longer sheet metal screws, not the short self-tappers. And keep in mind that some campers have a sloping face here. Now that ball socket can angle up and down. So that's why the large slot faces down to give room for it to lay down and match the angle of your awning when it's deployed. So, take our drill. Now that we've installed the ball socket receivers, we're going to unroll the awning and install the XL lower brackets. Here we're inserting the rafter poles into the ball sockets. Now that you've got the legs holding up the front bar, open up the cam lever and adjust the legs to your desired height. Here we've installed the lower XL brackets directly below the ball socket receiver. Next we'll lower the vertical part of the leg and lift it up and extend the XL extended leg within the leg to insert it in the lower XL bracket and then inserting the retainer clip. Now you can extend the leg even further, giving yourself more height. We'll repeat that on this side by extending the internal XL leg and attaching it again to the lower XL bracket. Next, we're going to be installing these end trim pieces. Now, these end trim pieces go right on the end. The larger radius covers that piping, and your screw is going to go into these slots that are already in your channel. So it goes right here like that. You can see where your screws are going to line up to. Go ahead and put the first screw in. And our second screw. And we'll repeat it on the other side. On units 11 foot and longer, you'll need a center spring-loaded rafter piece. It comes shipped in the two pieces. You'll take the smaller end without the trim cap and place it on the inside of the larger pipe. Slide it until the spring engages it and twist it counterclockwise. You'll then take the smaller diameter end of the rafter piece and insert it into your front bar while sliding the larger end with a protective cover against the face of your trailer. Again, this was the installation of the Shademaker Supreme. We used the XL accessory. If you're looking to do a project like this, go to RVAWNINGSRUS.com. They're the best in the business, and everything they sell is 100% made in the USA.